And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. Also, as well, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football. Chris Sardieri and I dropped the news for you on the wide receiver trades. Did we like them? Did we not like them? How is it going to affect you as a fantasy football owner? We discussed that, plus our picks for NFL Week 7 and more. So go ahead and check it out today for Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Joe Soro, hopefully will be coming up later. You know he's on pins and needles and biting his nails because the Dodgers are competing in Game 4 and all that. So with that, if he is available, he'll be at LakersBall.com and also as well, you know his company is Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com. If not, John Costa will still be with us, though, for the post game coming up after the game. And don't forget, playback.tv/ Lakers Fast Break. I'll have it set up for you guys. I will be late personally, so if anybody wants to start on the stage, just let me know. But the VIPs will already be issued out there, so if you guys want to check it out before I get on about the second quarter-ish, go ahead and make sure you stop on by playback.tv/ Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, want to go ahead and give some love to the Lakerholics crew at Lakerholics.com. John Costa, again, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Make sure you like and subscribe. Empire Jeff TV covering the Dodgers and the Lakers. Lakers in 5. All those great things, including Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, John McCallion channel, and more. Like and subscribe to all these channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to us. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and it's greatly appreciated. And don't forget, $2.99 a month. Become a member today. Gets you all the inside scoop of what we're doing behind the scenes. I get you special stuff that's direct for you. Plus, you've got our season predictions. I'm going to drop another season predictions tonight, so be aware of that if you're a member. But if you're a member, you got it. If you're not a member, become one today for $2.99 a month. Get emojis, badges, and a whole bunch of other good stuff from all of us right here. And don't forget, again, we need subscribers, so please subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. Big shout out to Search and Destroy, the best mod in the business, right there in the best Lakers chat in the business, the Lakers Fast Break. It is tonight, the Lakers and the Suns in preseason action. We'll see how much the starters will be playing for the Lakers. It's anyone's guess because I was just checking out just a couple minutes of the Dallas-Milwaukee game, and the Dallas Mavericks had their starters, well, for the most part, and the Milwaukee Bucks, let's just say they didn't. They had their second and third teamers in there, so each one has their own different agendas. So we'll see what happens. If you want the starting lineup, I will retweet it out at Lakers Fast Break on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it today. But it is, of course, the Lakers and the Suns coming up here. Just like we're going to get some words here, and as far as the pregame and what we're looking for and what's interesting. But I've got a great guest. He is back once again. It is one of the most awesome guests that I have. He comes by every now and then when he can. He is part of the Action Network and also on Fansided, the experience there known as Thunderous Intentions. He is an OKC expert indeed. It is Braxton Reynolds. Braxton, great to have you here once again, my friend. Wanted to go ahead into your thoughts in the Western Conference and OKC and tonight's game a little bit. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to OKC, Isaiah Hartenstein, it was revealed by Shams Charania of ESPN that he has a small fracture, I believe, on his hand. He'll be out or reevaluated in 5 to 6 weeks. They're still loaded with talent, but how does this affect the start of OKC's season this season?
Well, Jalen Williams is out too. So it's kind of a problem right now for big man depth. We wanted to see Chet with Hartenstein.
Jalen Williams, big man.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams, Santa Clara. Yes.
Jay will. Big difference. But we wanted to see Chet at power forward. That's delayed. And for me, the growing pains that you kind of have with new teams in the first 20 games, 30 games, those are very big come playoffs. So the fact that OKC doesn't really have that with Hartenstein, that's going to be big for their chemistry.
I really think that's going to be something we'll see. But if there's any team that can sustain it, yeah, it does hurt your front court. But if there's any team that has the talent to sustain it, as far as depth, 1 to 15, OKC early on will probably be more reliant on its guards. A lot small lineups. Again, more Chet Holmgren at center. I don't feel as bad or as nervous as I do if I was other teams, like, let's say, the Lakers, for example.
Yeah, I mean, in the long run, it's not going to be huge for, championship run. It's just 20, 25 games, but it does matter. For the Lakers, too, from what I've seen in the preseason, JJ Redick has impressed me. I think that his use of the clipboard and drawing up sets, drawing up plays, big improvement. That's going to help a lot with AD and LeBron. I think that organized offense, it's not all on them, not on their shoulders to create out of nothing. So I think Redick's going to be a big help them. And Dalton Connect, too, for me. Preseason, if you're watching him, he looks great. He's launching from deep. He's a good off-ball shooter for them. So if you can watch him tonight, that would be great, too. I mean, he's a good piece for them.
We'll see what's going on again for the Lakers tonight. The offensive schemes that JJ has put in there, it has been for a lot of people very impressive, and we've noted that here on the show. Defensively, I noticed that that's an area he has not been able to come to grips with. It has looked like the mess. I'm going to be honest with you. The lack of communication is still a concern. Defensive end, as far as the switching, the assignments, but some of that is due to the depth on the team. And you're right, Dalton Connect could play a key role on this team coming off the bench. But after that, there's not a whole lot for the Lakers fans to rely upon because it's been kind of tenuous so far this preseason.
Yeah, I think that for me, the defense is more of a problem than the offense because obviously Anthony Davis is great. Going to be Defensive Player of the Year, top 5-ish, top 3-ish voting, might win it. But the guards are not great. The perimeter defenders are okay in the grand scheme of things compared to other teams. That worries me for them. And like you said, miscommunications, they're not really talented enough to afford that. They can't really get mixed up because they're not great at recovering. So JJ has to iron that out. He has to get the switches down. He has to get this defense in shape.
Absolutely. So let's take a little gander across the Western Conference. I know that the season is almost upon us, less than a week away, and it's always great to have you here. Once again, it is Braxton Reynolds. Please check out his great work today at the Action Network and also as well, Thunderous Intentions, part of the fansided.com experience. Braxton, I think that OKC, they're still the heavy favorites here to win the Western Conference. I know that probably the number's probably going to go down a little bit, but still bordering somewhere between 55 and 60 wins. After that, it's kind of a potpourri of teams that might give them a big challenge in the West, and then teams that are looking just to fight off each other from anywhere from 2 to, I'm just going to say 12 or 13 possibly as far as in the Western Conference. What are some of the things that you've been gauging so far in the Western Conference as far as how it is shaping out for you so far?
Yeah, I think that teams definitely went for it in the offseason. I have a lot of questions, more so defensively than offensively for a lot of teams, like Phoenix, Golden State, Sacramento, New Orleans. I think that defense is going to be more of a question. For me, I think Denver is the number 2 team. I know that KCP is gone, but I think Christian Brown, he can really step into that role. I think he's ready for it. And he's got a little bit more passing athleticism. It's more dimensions to the offense that he can bring to Denver. And then I kind of like Peyton Watson to step up. I think Russ is going to be great for them as an energizer off the bench. Kind of Jokic is a little laid back, you could say. I think Russ is going to bring that fire to this team. So they're my number 2 team, them and OKC. And, Minnesota, Dallas are kind of in that tier as well. Beyond that, there's a lot of questions for a lot of teams.
You'll forgive me on Russell Westbrook. Our experience in Lakerland wasn't always the best. And I'm not sure how many of those 3-point jumpers that he takes, that he misses, it's going to take before Jokic, who wanted him on the team, is going to be looking at him going like, what did I get myself into? But the energy part, as far as that's concerned, obviously getting out on the break, that's what he can still do well. His athleticism at his age, still, again, can he get the kind of revival he didn't get on either LA team? We'll have to wait and see. But I think he can still, give a team something if they utilize him properly. And of course, Mike Malone obviously will be able to do that. But after Denver and OKC for you, what shapes out to be the rest of the Western Conference? Because 3, 4, 5, you get into teams that still have pretty high aspirations. Then you get into teams that are in the play-in, playoff mix that are going to be all trying to just jab each other and stab each other, trying to knock each other down in order to get a better seeding this season.
Yeah, I think that Dallas and Minnesota would be in that second tier, that kind of 1B tier. Those 4 to me are the true title contenders, where they have what it takes to win a championship. I wouldn't be surprised. Not that other teams don't per se, but I think that it would be more shocking to me, or maybe they're one move away. I think that Memphis could be interesting. The Lakers, New Orleans, and Phoenix, that's kind of my next tier. And then Clippers, Warriors, Kings, playoff teams, not winning much, first round exit. That's kind of where I sit on them. They're kind
especially
of
with Kawhi being announced, announced as being out indefinitely, which you could see coming for quite a ways away because of the continuous problems he's had with his knee, Braxton.
Yeah, I mean, Kawhi, even if he plays, I just don't think they have enough creation to me. It's him and Harden, and that's kind of it. And then a lot of guys that either can't shoot, can't defend, one-way guys that get exploited in the playoffs. So that's why I'm kind of out on the Clippers.
I have a feeling a lot of people will be out on the Clippers, especially after that news today. I mean, a lot is riding on a not as young as he once used to be, James Harden, again, to provide that superstar level of play that he once did. Can he still do that over the course of a season? I don't know. And how well is their depth laid out as far as in Clipperland? I mean, people have talked about how back and forth. Is it good? Is it not good? So we'll see how that lays out for them in their new Intuit Dome. But if there's any surprise teams that you think might be looking at that people are overlooking, I know that a lot of people are talking about New Orleans. If they ever find a center, they're going to go small to start the season. We'll see how that goes. I know a lot of people have been talking about Sacramento as far as to see now that they've got DeRozan there. Could that be a key to them moving up on the food chain? There's other teams out there that might surprise. Houston, will their young wings get, talented as they are, will they get that all together? But how about Memphis? Memphis coming back with all the injuries that they've had over the course of the past couple of years. Remember, they lost to the Lakers as the number 2 seed, 50-plus win team. Ever since then, it's gone downhill. So your thoughts on some maybe the dark horse or surprise teams in the Western Conference?
Yeah, I think that outside of those 4 of OKC, Denver, Dallas, Minnesota, Memphis would be my pick for the dark horse, because if you look at Ja Morant, his best season came with Steven Adams, and Edie can kind of provide a lot of what he did in terms of the big screening, the highway screens, and that big presence around the basket. He's going to be huge for them. and he allows JJJ to be a roamer. That's his best role. So the defense, I think, is going to be good. Vince Williams is there, great wing defender. Bane is pretty underrated as a defender too. So Memphis, to me, they're going to be a very interesting team. But is health going to be there? They got killed last year. It's already not looking good this year. If they're healthy, I think they could make the Western Conference Finals and be a game or two away from the finals. I think that's in their path. I'm not sure health is going to be there, though. That's going to be a big factor.
Is Edey your rookie of the year? Again, for a while, okay, this time last year, I mean, before the draft, he was still listed as a mid to late second rounder. Then he started going up, and he was already a player of the year already one time. Had his good season, started rising up, and the need for a big guy obviously drew Memphis in to put him in as far as the first 10 picks. He has exceeded expectations in a lot of people's eyes, in mine as well. I did not have them at that high. I'm ready and willing to eat my words as far as that's concerned. So with that, is he your pick for rookie of the year right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think that if you look at trends for that award, you pretty much have to play 25 minutes per game and about 23 points, rebounds, assists totaling. There's not many guys in this draft that are going to get the usage. It's more of a role player draft. So Edey definitely benefits from that starting spot that others don't have. But you could make the case that no one really has great stats in this class. What would you look at then? You look at anomaly. You look at eye test. You look at this guy that stands out. And that's definitely Edey. I mean, 7'4", big body in the post. He's definitely an anomaly. So for me, I think it's definitely Edey, my pick. Opened at like 10-1. Now it's like 3-1 on betting sites. So a lot of people agree with me.
So I ask you, my friend, heading into the season, again, Memphis could be a dark horse. For me, it just how huge of a jump. There will be a jump. They won 27 games last season. So how much of a jump statistically will they get? Just because, as you and I both know, I mean, jumping 25 games, for instance, that's almost at an NBA record, difference right there. So to do that, that would put them right in the mix at 52 wins. So that's a really tough ask. And like you said, they have to stay healthy to do so. So we'll definitely consider Memphis among that. Again, Houston has a lot of potential as well if they just start maturing and find themselves one player that they can really rely upon as being that guy, because I think that's still an identity is what they need. They have all the talent there in Houston. They can be a surprise this season, but it's about finding an identity and finding that one player that wants to take command of the ball and the Rockets.
Well, Jalen Green's happy to do it. It's just, can he put the ball in the bucket efficiently? At this point, he hasn't really done that, but the flashes were there. He had that stretch of 30 points per game across like 15 games. So if he puts that together and Şengün takes another leap, they could be interesting.
It could be interesting indeed. And again, something I want to see it play out. I mean, just the talent on that, as far as they have better wings and more wings than anybody out there, even OKC, because OKC, they could throw a ton of guards, even to the wings. They're deep at every position, but just, if you're talking about 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" wings, I don't think that anybody as far as has a better array of talented wings right now than the Rockets. And they may utilize that in a trade if they see that they're getting along better this season than what even they thought they would. So, yeah, look out for them. A team I want to talk about is the team the Lakers are facing tonight in the Phoenix Suns. A lot of people are low-key saying that they're going to be a return to a power, let's say 4 or 5 in the Western Conference, with them finally getting in the mix as far as finding some point guards that are I guess, very good at controlling the ball in Jones and Morris, 2 of the best ever as far as the assist to turnover ratio. So with that said, do you think Phoenix, with its huge payroll and I don't know if you say they have depth issues or not. With their concerns, do you think that they will take the Pacific Division and, find themselves a little bit higher in the food chain this time around in the Western Conference?
Yeah, they definitely improved. They needed that guy who could give organized offense, and that's definitely Jones. I mean, he's a great distributor. He can put the ball on the floor and create plays. I think they're a better regular season team than playoff team because the perimeter defenders are just really bad. You're looking at Beal, Booker, Grayson Allen, Tyus Jones. That's kind of your core four. And if you're trying to defend SGA, Luka Doncic, good luck with that. And it's not going to work out. So for me, I think the defense, it's not enough. They could still make a trade deadline move, but right now they would need historic shooting to kind of get past three Western Conference teams to me.
I think Beal's the key. I mean, Beal's been the much maligned, well overpaid, problematic contract of his as far as it's concerned. So Beal, if he ever gets back to anywhere near what he once was in his glory years at Washington, I think that's what Phoenix was buying in on. That's what Phoenix was hoping for, and they haven't gotten as of yet.
Yeah, he overlaps a bit too much with what Booker does. Um, it doesn't really work, I would say. I think they need more of a traditional point guard who plays defense, kind of like a Chris Paul almost, that they traded away for in that deal. So I think that just Beal and Booker together, I'm skeptical of the defense. I think it's more of a problem than the offense kind of gelling together. So for me, I'm kind of out on Phoenix for the postseason, unless they get really hot, which it could happen. If you have Durant, Beal, Booker, Allen, could definitely happen.
Absolutely. Is there any other teams that you have in mind in the Western Conference? And then we'll close out with the Lakers, of course, and your thoughts continuously on those before we head on out.
I would say the Pelicans are. I mean, this is how I describe the Pelicans. In the Rudolph special every Christmas, the Island of Misfit Toys, if anyone has seen that, that's how I kind of see the Pelicans. They have guys who have a major flaw that make it difficult to build around them, like Zion with health, shooting, non-rim protector. DeJounte and Brandon Ingram have pretty much 2000s shot profiles that don't really work in this modern age. And then CJ McCollum, too, the defense is a problem. So it's just they have talented guys, but they don't really fit. And if you want a championship team, you need guys who can scale their game up or down. You need adaptability, and you need team fit. I mean, if you don't have those three, it's pretty hard to come together for an entire playoff run and win the title. So I think that if they make a trade, Brandon Ingram, his name's out there. They need a center. If they can somehow pull off something in that kind of vein, then I'll look at them. But right now, they're just more of an interesting, but I don't see them getting too far kind of team.
They haven't resolved the Brandon Ingram issue. CJ McCollum, like you said, where does he fit into all this as far as, are you going to ask him with his salary and tenure in the league to come off the bench? Is it time for him to realize that maybe he needs to turn the corner on his game and realize that? Again, so many questions right now with New Orleans. Looks like they're going to go with a small lineup to start the season because they know they have issues trying to get that center. But we'll see how it shapes out. Again, and another team that needs a center or think they needs a center and probably does need a center is the Los Angeles Lakers. With that, the Lakers head into tonight's game. Again, like you said, the offensive sets, the ball movement, it's been very fluid. At times, they move very well. I've seen the times late in the first quarter and also as well a little bit of the third when I've seen Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis work together. They've worked very well. Anthony Davis looks like he's already ready to go ahead and, he's in mid-season form. Shooting wise, it hasn't been a pleasant sight to watch as far as so far, especially with Austin Reeves. I think there's still some concern that he is not where he needs to be as far as shooting is concerned. Dalton, he was not only got the green light, he's got the extra green light, which is fine. Go ahead, fill it up as best you can. We talked about Max Christie last night on last night's show. He is currently the sixth man off the bench, which again has some concerns for a lot of people out there because there's been mixed results with him so far. What are your thoughts on the Lakers? I think when you have the starting five, they can be competitive with virtually any team in the league, but the depth questions for me and the depth questions for Joe and everybody on here lead us to believe that it may not be a big step up from where they were last season.
Yeah, I think that you have LeBron, you have AD, you have two top 10, top 15 players on the team. So from a star power perspective, you can kind of go against anyone. But like you said, the depth, it's just a lot of one-way guys to me. D'Angelo Russell can't defend. Austin Reeves sometimes can't defend. Sometimes he can. Kind of don't know where he is at that point. And then Vanderbilt can't shoot, can't play offense. Christian Wood can't defend really that much. So it's just, you don't have many playoff guys to me. You don't have many Carusos or KCPs that you had in the past for your championship run. So that's where I'm kind of at for them. I think that they can make a trade. They have a lot of salary. They have 2 first-round picks if they want to move them. I think they should. I think you maximize LeBron and AD. You don't really prepare for the future at this point. You should be all in. But I don't know. Ownership hasn't really bought into that, apparently.
Before I let you go, we can't avoid it, my friend, because the press covers it on a daily basis. In fact, USA Today, after every game, has an article. How much did Bronny score today? So I wasn't going to let you go without talking about it. It is Bronny James. I don't know if you've been watching or listening to our show recently, but financially, it's going to be a windfall for the Lakers because they will gain in jersey sales and merchandising sales 10, 20-fold over what they're paying him this season. As far as him justifying, as far as an NBA player, that's another concern because he's been absolutely abysmal. I think John Hollinger, I was listening to him on his show today, and he said he has the worst PER of any player that has played in the preseason. And I'm saying that should be a surprise because he was awful in summer league. He's been awful in preseason. It's kind of embarrassing because the fact that he is taking minutes away from better players at this point. For instance, Quincy Olivari, who gave him a big, nice surprise, gave us a big lift against Milwaukee. Give that kid some confidence, and then you sit him out because you want to put in Bronny ahead of him. Maxwell Lewis, who's trying to fight to keep his name on the roster, other than being pushed out further and further away from the league. He can't get in the minutes because he's now behind Bronny James on the rotation as far as what we've seen this preseason. Your thoughts on the Bronny James experiment before we head on out?
Well, I don't think they drafted him.
Be brutal as you want, my friend. Be as brutal as you want.
I think it's clear they didn't draft him for his basketball scouting report. I think everyone would admit that. Even LeBron should admit that. He might not, but he should.
He won't.
They brought him to appease LeBron and get him to resign. So it worked. But if he gets any regular season minutes, it's just disrespectful to the rest of the roster because you're telling them that their time doesn't matter and they're not trying to win a championship. That's what it basically says because he's not ready to be a part of rotation. He's still young. He could still be in the future, but he should be in the G League getting minutes because he needs to develop. He's not an NBA player right now.
I couldn't agree with you more. We say it every day. It's embarrassing at times the way he's playing. The fact that you just see, and the fact is, he just does not play with the kind of effort that's needed. I think for a guy that's 6'1", can't shoot, and is supposed to be this great defender. Yeah, it's so far it has been terrible for the eyes. And as someone who has seen him live, it's not been any fun to watch because people they roast him out there in the live audience. So whatever you don't hear on the television, trust me, it's a lot worse when you see it live because people are merciless. And the excitement is there when he gets the ball to do something. But it's almost like, it's almost like a sideshow in and of itself because, people get excited. They want him to shoot. And then he always misses. And then it's really just disappointing for everybody out there because, your heart breaks for the kid because you know what? It seems like he was really put in this situation, and he's put in this situation, and each and every day it's looking more and more like it's a situation that's going to fail.
Yeah, I think that once LeBron retires, I'm not sure about his NBA future. I think the charade will be over and he won't be on a roster at that point. But, he could improve. You never know. Some guys develop and could happen for him.
Let's hope it does. Let's hope we're all proven wrong. Let's hope I'm proven wrong. I want to be wrong on Bronny. I do. But I don't think I will be. But again, right now it's a very, very unfinished product in Bronny James as far as what he can do. He's not an NBA player at this point in time. Just get that one game or one moment with him on the floor and his dad. Get it out of the way. Let him develop in the G League. Don't put any pressure on him. Just try to have him work hard, reinforce a work ethic into him, and go from there. And if that's the case, that's what he's going to do. Sports Baby says, after something what he did, imagine that at the back of your head is going to happen again. Maybe he is scared to go full out in case it happens again. That's true. That's a good point, SB, is because of what happened with his heart issues. But then the league has already cleared him. If he was really concerned about that, why would he be going out there? Because if you do not give your maximum effort, unless you have the talent of his father, it's really hard to be successful unless you're giving a maximum effort, Braxton.
Yeah, 6'1" and can't shoot. If you don't have max effort, even if the reason's justified, you can't be on the court. It's just you're going to be a negative to the team.
Absolutely. So, my friend, before we head on out, it's time for that cheap plug, which you deserve it. It's deservedly so because I've been reading and keeping up to date with your great work on the Action Network, but you also got Thunderous Intentions as well. Please let us know where people can go ahead and find your great work and also what you're working on, and if you have any social media you need to plug as well.
Yeah, Action, I think that especially Lakers fans, because they somehow have all the all-time players on their roster for some reason, but top 25 seasons of all time ranked by a formula. That was a great read, I think, and may settle the GOAT debate to some. We'll see. It won't, but it could. Yeah, I think that's a good read.
Online as much as I do, my friend, it'll never stop that argument. People just will think what they do. Tunnel vision is there, my friends. So people are just set in their ways when it comes to the GOAT. And again, I just say it is what it is. I'm just going to appreciate what we have now in LeBron and let it go from there. But once again, it is Braxton Reynolds. Please check out his great work today at the Action Network and also as well Thunderous Intentions, part of the fan-sided experience indeed. Well, Braxton, you've got to come back on the show when you can. You just hit me up and we'll go ahead and bring you on, keeping us updated on the goings on in the NBA, especially if OKC, as far as your specialty on that. Absolutely. Again, OKC having some injuries issues. I don't think I'm as concerned with their start as others because of what they have on their team, but it is what it is. I mean, Sam Presti's done a great job, and this is what happens. You have that depth there in case you need it just because of what happens. So we'll go ahead and make sure we got you covered. But again, if you have the time, you're always welcome back on the show. Once again, it is the Lakers and the Suns coming up at 7 p.m. I will start up playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break for everyone out there. I'm going to be a little bit late, so I apologize for that, but I will have the simulcast running for you guys to go ahead and start the chat, and also for the VIPs to go ahead and watch the game on there on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And don't forget the post game tonight with me and John Costa. Joe is a baby, depending on what happens with the Dodgers. And don't forget, I just started up a fantasy basketball league on ESPN. And I'll put the link in the description as well. Braxton, it's been great to have you on. Truly cannot thank you enough for stopping by, and looking forward to the next time you can stop on in right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.